At this,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. At the end of it, it's not about this. It's about what's said in the future.
Absolutely.
But
I'll be honest, I've been thinking about it as I've come over here, and I can pretty much give you a. I can. There was 3 times. Well, no. So there's like 3 groups of people that know. I mean, not groups, but so I received a phone call from Charlie while I was in my office. There was one person in there with me. And obviously, I didn't realize who it was at the time. Then I explained the voice to the person. You know, they seemed to be aware of who it was. They spoke about. They asked me what my kind of what I wanted to do as the mayor. I said something about obviously I'm looking to restore the economy, and that's what he picked up on, right? He said I like the sound.
Charlie
of that.
did.
Yes.
Fuck. Okay.
And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He went, restore. You know, he said I can't remember exact phrasing. He said something about it's a time for like a reset or something, right? So I was a bit sketched out. So the person in the office with me was, she goes by the name Peggy. So I spoke to, obviously I didn't really think anything of it. But then I spoke to, I think it was LSPD at the time, just about the conversation. Just to make people aware that I had it, right?
Oh, the laptop, right? Or the...
No, so the laptop was like a day or 2 days after. So I have. Yeah. So I didn't see the laptop first. I'm
going to tell you how bad it is. So you recognize. Right after our conversation, over the next not even 48 hours, gangs are now stocking up gold.
What?
Yeah. Now, I say this not because at the end of the world, this isn't like, who cares, right? I mean, I care, but it's not the end of the world, right? If this fear gets out and people have changed, I'm bringing this up to you more to make you aware that someone you likely spoke to is not very discreet, right?
What gangs, may I ask?
A lot.
What?
Yeah. So someone went full fucking tea time, and I can tell you with certainty, I am very open about sharing certain things, right? Because certain things that I deem inactionable, I deem okay for myself and other marshals to effectively keep people appraised of, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, right? It's disappointing for me if I've got people that I'm telling things to in confidence, right? Like trying to. So this is the biggest complaint of people in a mayoral cabinet, right? Mm-hmm. They don't get kept in the loop. But then as soon as you keep them in the fucking loop about stuff, they go and or as soon as you involve them in something, right? They then go and spread the shit all around the city, causing situations like this. If it's happened from the cabinet.
It's the same thing in the PD. They will cry left, right, and center about not knowing things, but it's because they don't keep their eyes and ears open, despite having 90% of it. And the moment, they get involved, their interest is only tea time and not actually doing the work or being responsible. So I can definitely relate.
So yeah, the only inkling I had to what you said, obviously when you said about the they threatened to do that prior, was I suppose obviously I had hints at it from them before you said that to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really think much of. That laptop appeared 2 days afterwards, and the first person that called me in regards to that laptop was Peggy. She says this laptop was, have you put a laptop here that was not on your desk prior? And I went, well, okay, I'll get back to you. I can't remember what I was doing at the time, so I'd not been to the office.
Yeah, it's I mean, Peggy is reasonable. If we're gonna be honest, it could be JJ.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it could be someone else, right? But like I said, I'm not here to go and even directly point blame. That's not my intention, but rather to bring this up so that you are aware for your own good. right? And specifically, look, if something's shared with you in confidence and then you tell someone about it and they're going and yapping about it, that might fuck you in the future. Not because, like, just to be clear, not because, like, we're going to come after you, but God knows what you're working with. You're intending it to be kept within your cabinet and it just gets out. But
no, I think the worst thing is that, Ron, I don't think I've like, just trying to think back, I haven't spoke to anybody about what we spoke about when we went up to the observatory. So all this has come from, like, what they've interpreted from what's happened prior, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think back.
Yeah, so...
And that's why I had the marshals come and check out the laptop, right? Because I was very suspicious of its origins. And there was a lot of speculation kind of within the cabinet.
I will tell you this without diving into the source or whatever, but the timeline places it to around the time we had the conversation about the potential of the Faceless draining our accounts, right? Which was a theory. And as a consequence, hoarding gold began right around then. Now, I don't think it was derived from the laptop, because had it been, these, you know, this would have been brought to light prior to that. There is still the possibility, reasonably, that the Faceless themselves told gangs. I just don't think so. It's you know, it's kind of like just so perfectly aligned. It likely was a consequence of that. And like I said, I don't think I want to, you know, make this a bigger deal than it is, but I figured I'd let you know. You know, just, you know, in case it becomes helpful down the line. So,
well, I mean,
I'll put it this way: not even my marshals, but one or two, even know about that theory. So it hasn't been written down in a report. It hasn't been openly spoken about. You know, I brought it to y'all's attention as a, you know, in case that shit goes down. I mean, for all we know,
how has it gone throughout the whole city so quickly?
I don't know. I mean, that's how it works. It's one of the reasons
people talk, right? But that's crazy.
No, it's bad. There's a lot of complaints that will sometimes come about SASM and why we keep things to ourselves. It's because, look, I'm going to give you an example, right? Yesterday, we arrested a Faceless, see that right there?
Yeah.
That's one of 6 known antennas that are currently used by the Faceless. I brought you up here. Okay. That connects to a series of satellites around the city. To what end, we don't yet know. Now, we witnessed a buzzard 2 days ago, as we have previously, land right there and begin to do what looked like maintenance. It usually follows a power outage for 5-10 minutes, followed by the repairs or additional satellites being placed. Now, we followed it. We got in Air 1 and we captured the guy alive. It took 2 airplanes, or it took 2 helicopters to do so, because that thing is nimble and it causes us to burn a lot of fuel. So we followed it with one, swapped with another, chased him through the water after he parachuted, eventually apprehended him. Turns out to be a ex-Darkstone agent who tried to infiltrate the Faceless. We could confirm that. After retrieving a significant amount of intelligence, we released it. because we were able to confirm he had truly was trying to infiltrate the Faceless, and we're not going to try to get this guy killed. The next day, we receive a phone call, 911's desperately asking for me as he was being chased down by Faceless assets. This is yesterday morning. We save him. We then go out of our way to ensure that no one knows his location. Even further, we make it look like he got put into Bolingbrook in case the Faceless go and look for him in there. And then, without using names, a bunch of dumb fucks, after I left him alone for 10 minutes, waiting for them to be extracted to a fucking rental car, let him walk the fuck out, and just get in a car and drive off. And they were captured within 10 minutes. And then the individual was executed down at the scrapyard. One of these assets was, one of the Faceless assets was captured with the hot gun. And then after the course of 4 hours, I went around asking who the fuck collected evidence and who's holding on to it. While the Faceless asset rots in jail on a 24-hour hold. The reason I tell you all this is word spread around really quick, because it happens in PD too, right? And some of this information, including what I'm sharing with you, will very, very quickly get into the wrong hands, right? People are fucking criminals. People are like friends with them, and you get that, right? But is why shit needs to be is kept like lock and key. Even within the marshals, not every marshal has access to everything, right? If you're working archivist, you have access to those records. If you're working Faceless, you're getting access to that. And the minimum bar is, are you producing? And if you can't produce, no tea for you. You know what I mean?
I think the thing with me is it's disappointing, right? I think you try and surround yourself with people that you think you can trust, but it almost feels like not everybody's happy with what they're given. They use information to try and I don't know, get themselves into different circles, or act like they know stuff, not quite understanding the damage it can do.
Yep, that's you are hitting the nail on the head. Yeah, it's just how it is.
I think like we discussed the other day, there's lack of people taking a lot of this shit seriously, and there's one thing that you do have my word on. I am taking it as seriously as it is, right? I think people being shot with sniper rifles, all the bombings that I've been having, like to me that's serious business.
Yeah, it's
I think it needs to be treated in that way. Obviously I appreciate you involving me in what you're in what you tell me.
Hey, I'm Ocean King.
What?
Oh, I thought you were wondering why I'm on the roof right now. Sorry.
I don't even know where you are.
Oh, easy. Is it emergency?
No, I was just going to talk to you about the other property.
Yes. Let me give you a ring. Give me 10 minutes.
Yeah, whenever
Easy.
you're free.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, you're saying?
But I think as far as yeah, I mean this it definitely opens my eyes to a few things. I'm just gonna make sure that everything that not like I say, not that I think I've said anything that you've told me to other people, but just in just other things that are happening, right? Like phone calls that I'm receiving and stuff like that. Maybe not everybody can handle such sensitive information, so maybe they shouldn't be privy to what's going on. Maybe I'll just confide in the people that can.
Everybody has friends. Everyone has family. It's why Chris Peters no longer works for SASM. And that's just a reality we live with, right? We live in a city where you can shoot each other on each other's turf, and then slap asses robbing a bank truck. It's just so, sharing sensitive information is pretty in everyone's blood. Look,
I mean, yeah, but I think since I've been in this position, I've asked myself a few questions. Like how did I end up here? What made me want to do this? Why did I decide to take this avenue?
Do you like that? Slapping asses robbing a bank truck?
I think I've realized that a lot of people are very much just in it for themselves. One day you can have been as loyal to somebody, give them your word, and you can be 100% transparent and honest with your intentions. But it doesn't mean that they ever will be. And sometimes putting trust in people, especially in this city, and actually believing they're going to follow through and they'll have your back when the time comes, is probably one of the biggest mistakes you can make. I don't truly believe that I have anybody in this city that I can truly trust anymore. And that's just me being 100% transparent with you.
Yeah. Trust me, we have similar feelings within the department. We just have to navigate appropriately. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, we can't even be honest with said individuals. I'll tell you this much. We have 2 marshals we're probably going to be letting go, and unless they change in the next. Get up to a wall. I heard a helicopter.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Yeah, look, we're even getting rid of we're going to be getting rid of 2 marshals just because they're not hitting up the snuff for similar reasons. It's just necessary, right? There's 3 other departments people can go to. There's just a certain mindset and requirement. It's like you said, it's hard to trust folks. Look, I'll tell you this much. Some of the biggest damage, the most difficulty for dealing with the Faceless has been the PD and those that you would think are allies against them. Without going into too much detail.
I'll be completely transparent with you. I thought the biggest, aid to the Faceless was the inability of the PD as a whole to kind of, work together without any kind of bickering and communication. But I'm going to be honest, Brian, I can hear a helicopter.
Oh, it's civilian. Just Frogger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I know people have complained about the marshals keeping things to themselves and not giving all the information. But during these 4 weeks that I've had as mayor, I'm going to be honest now. I understand why.
Yeah, it's the sad thing, and I promise this: 80, if not 90%, of Faceless reports are normal PD reports. 90% of them, the actual PD high commands are involved. The problem is, even when I'm telling you what I'm doing now, I'm just paying attention to what's happening each and every time and making speculative, estimated guesses as to what is occurring. Ming is kidnapped is a known thing. The why is he kidnapped is merely speculative. I believe they want him as leverage over the besties. This is not something I'm going to put in a report, but will be seen as something I am not sharing. But what I'm not sharing is simply a speculative thought. And that's the bit that 99% lack. If it doesn't have a fucking button on it, it's people don't know what to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I divulged some information about the government account and finances, and just in regards to the ins and outs of it, and you know, the 1 week projections, we were down by 15, 20 million. I told that to a room full of officers, and then within the next couple of hours, I'm met with, you know, numerous LSPD officers running up to me saying, Denzel, what's happening with the accounts? We're really, why are we down bad? What's happening to the county?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, the day that happened, that completely opened my eyes to, unfortunately, why you can't tell anybody anything.
No, there's no sanctity to it.
I mean, it was just such a small thing that didn't need to happen, but it had almost been blown and twisted out of proportion within less than an hour of me telling people.
Right.
And it completely twisted into something that it wasn't, and everybody...
And now you got a fucking headache, right?
Yeah,
It's what did Denzel do? And it's like, well, fuck me for trying to be, you know, trying to include folks, and now you're turning it against 100%.
Me. No, I get it, right?
No,
and that's my biggest thing was inclusion, right? Where I didn't want to kind of keep out anybody that was on my cabinet. I mean, it's tough enough to join.
He's
one,
learning.
Not alone if you're not the mayor and you don't get included and stuff, right? But at the same time, if you can't be trusted, if you've proven that you can't be trusted, then why
I actually believe he's learning.
Obviously, you have my word now. I mean, I don't believe I did in the first place, but anything that you say to me, including this conversation, will never go any further than me.
Yeah. Look, I believe you, and I say that because I've experienced that, and I know that it takes a while to realize like how quickly things move and how otherwise good people just, you know, I don't know. Look, yesterday I got a tip, and we dispatched 4 marshals to Polito, and we witnessed Mr. Blue on a tugboat with 4 guards, black masks, and a shitload of faceless assets.
Who is Mr. Blue?
Oh. You really haven't. They really didn't tell you anything, did they? That's so all right. So you have the faceless, right? I keep has no one approached you about this? Did they just say they don't know anything?
So after me kind of pulling for information on this Charlie guy, right? He told me his name was Charlie. Apparently he's the leader of the Faceless. And then I read it. It told me to look at a newspaper, and I saw this paper that said the Enigma of Charlie, and he was a gentleman wearing all black in a white.
Chad, what the fuck?
As far as I'm aware, there's been no mention of Mr. Blue.
Okay.
I think. I mean, Brian, if what you're saying is true, the whole LSPD and thing has been to pretend that they know nothing, to be blissfully ignorant,
just to fucking cry, kick, and scream.
Just to make it's just to make you look worse. To be honest, I'll be transparent with you, right? That's the only reason to do it. No. Is to make it to seem that you're not cooperating.
I think it's worse than that. I think eventually it was weaponized, right, to just make a political thing, but this has been an issue for a long time. I'm going to give you the full rundown of things. When I came back to PD about, like, I don't know, back in December, and I have quite literally have receipts that I'm starting to wonder if I should just give them to you, so that you can call it out if necessary. I was simply interested in patrol. That's it. I got looped into the faceless shit primarily because I was attending these things where, at the time it'd be Richard Dark, In fact, actually, the first report for Faceless ever written was by me because I responded to Larry at his bodega getting chased by an Apache, and I witnessed a bunch of dumb fucks chase Marty and stuff instead of that were trying to defend themselves instead of dealing with a fucking attack helicopter. And when I say there were no attack helicopters, I mean there was none. So I want you to imagine that for a second. There's a fucking attack helicopter that hasn't been seen for fucking years, and PD is chasing Marty's friends because they saw a class 2 instead. So I scream at everyone on radio. Half of them have never were shocked. 3 went off duty simply for me being like, what the fuck are you doing chasing them instead of the attack helicopter? Fast forward. We are now getting, these tip-offs from God knows where that there's these Faceless missions with like fucking buzzards and attack like airplanes and yada da da da. And Denzel, we were not collecting, we were getting the evidence, and we weren't even bringing in these assets for questioning for months. I want you to just perceive that for a second. Fucking World War III for 3 hours, and no one did shit.
Right. So this has been going on a lot longer than anybody knows.
Yes. It was being left, and it wasn't that the information wasn't there. Any officer could have picked the blood up. Any officer has the DNA of Benji Ramos, Ray Romanoff, Brandon Valentino. This is shit we've known forever, but no one took action. As soon as the situation ended, it was over, and then off to the next bank truck, right? That's where my interest came. I was in BCSO. I started the detective task force to solve the very problem that is being complained about. In it, there would be a rep in BCSO, a rep in LSPD, such that every single investigation, be it Faceless, be it Archivist, be it fucking Moonshine, had a lead, and that both departments would have someone who would pass the information on, right? Simple concept, right? If you have a head of finance in your department, you're going to presume they tell all the other finance people. They don't need to go to the fucking mayor. It kept getting refused. The information flow is there. The same concept exists with the marshals. Every department has people, detectives, tagged into every investigation. But it is not my fucking job to go to each and every cop and tell them what's going on. It's the independent departments that should be doing that. All these SOPs, all the names, they're in a report. I'm gonna go talk to my command, rest of my command, see if we should just hand them to you, just so you got something to, date, time stamped, you name it.
I think there's a level, like I said, a level of like blissful ignorance, right, where people think acting like they don't know looks bad on, other people.
Radio check.
And I think they're doing it for a reason,
Yeah. So you asked about Faceless, right? Mr. Blue is the Faceless is you've got investors. The Faceless is a wing of some fraction of the investors. Mr. Blue, as there is a Mr. Green, Mr. White, like fucking Power Rangers, right? Mr. Blue is sort of like the head of operations in San Andreas. He is the individual that birthed the Faceless getting a footprint in San Andreas about 1.5 years ago, or reestablishing it. We know that he functions directly with Nest. Charlie is like his general. Charlie's foot soldiers started, and Mr. Blue's foot soldiers started with Brandon, Frederick White, Edgar de Castillo, pretty much the 3POS guys. Over time, they established more of a foothold. And thus came like the Faceless app. Let me show you how it looks like.
What's the word?
Pop that open. Not too much. Having a chat with the mayor up on the Rockford Plaza roof.
10-4.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now that one right there only goes to a video. Type in Echelon. I think that's the password. Chat, what's the password again?
Is it caps?
Yeah, capital. ECELON in caps.
Yeah, it's working.
As this loads, keep in mind that the Faceless initially did not have this application. Eventually, it went online. Eventually, it was operating out of the Epsilon building. Eventually, that data was then being migrated to Life Invader, which is when the attack happened. And now it is happening in an unaccessible location through this communication network.
This is that house that party was thrown at, no?
Yep, and multiple members of law enforcement witnessed a murder and didn't do shit about it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go to it, but somebody told me that, like, I'm going to be honest, somebody told me that, like, just through nonchalantly, that this is a Faceless house. Like,
it is.
I watched the video.
Yep, go for it. Echelon is the communication network, FYI, and this is its final stage. I'm being very blunt. I mean, what, like... I enjoy blunt, Brian. There's no time to sugarcoat. You know what I mean? A time to sugarcoat would we have like general competency in the department. Like sitting around and sugarcoating things is like a waste of time. I don't have time to sugarcoat. Sugarcoating is speaking for 10 minutes when you can speak for one, dancing around the issue as opposed to just saying, no, that is shit.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. So now I want you to imagine, if I could get that back, if you could imagine that instead of a video, you instead see an interface. A interface used not just to put hits out on individuals, but to instruct particular individuals based on their login, rendezvous points, etc., coordinate effectively attacks on the city, or transports of whatever payload, anything from weapons to nuclear arms to chemicals to whatever the fuck they need to do whatever the fuck they're planning next.
What does that video mean to you? Like, does it play into something bigger?
Echelon is the building in the video. People, what they call the Faceless house. Initially, there was no network. Eventually, that network likely operated out of a basement in that house, eventually migrating to one of their properties, the Epsilon building. The Epsilon building, where the network and the system grew stronger, and like I said, to Life Invader, to eventually to an unknown location operated through this and many other antennas and dishes around the city.
I'm just gonna say, is there more to that video than there seems?
Always. Are you familiar with the Life Invader attack?
No. Well, actually, I know a robot got attacked there. No, not the PD bot, the Chronicle thing.
Yes.
I read that in the paper.
Frank and Nora were kidnapped. There was an attempt to give them access to their Chronicle bot. It was taken down, and an article of me was put up. That was to make everyone think that's all it was. The true intention was to upload their network and data to that final location, wherever it is. The location in which Mr. Blue and his bosses, whom are unknown, can kick off, whatever it is that they want to, fucking collapse the financial system or whatever it may be. Now, here's so when you think of Mr. Blue, think of him as the boss, which is
Charlie isn't the boss.
No. Some may call him the boss, but it all ties back to Mr. Blue. And who he works for is unknown, likely investors. Like I said, they're a function of, they're like a hired like syndicate. And yesterday was the first time I have seen him, and I could verify based on my short conversation as my helicopter pulled up next to his. And I told him to pull over the fucking boat. Unfortunately, he and his guards ended up, going into international waters, and we couldn't follow with our tank. So and he was there with about 8 other Faceless assets. And we do have names. So
just a bit more so obviously with everything that's going on and what they plan to do, if you said they told you about threatening to wipe the accounts. I mean, when
they didn't.
What's the timeline?
They haven't. Even that is purely speculation, right?
Right, okay.
And that's the bit that, going back to what I said, is people think we keep away from them. It is speculation based on a series of things that we're aware of. And our speculation's been quite good. We've hit the nail on the head, like I'd say 70 to 80% of the time. Which is why, unlike 6 months ago, when we would respond to maybe one Faceless incident every 2 weeks because we were tipped off by Darkstone, we've been actively finding them in operation. Like yesterday, like the day we saved Ming. They cannot hide.
So is it the same kind of speculation that, when he would call me, ask me what I stand for, I said I'm about restoring the economy, which I obviously was talking about the grand system and how it was abused and all that kind of stuff. And then he said, I like that word you mentioned. He liked the word restore. And then he said, maybe you can help me with a reset. I think that's what he said, something like that.
And we learned yesterday that the archivist, he told me in his own words, when he was speaking to me on the phone with Charlie watching from a distance, that him and the Faceless align on something, a thing that is awaiting him to complete, a thing that, very similar word usage, may reset. Let me give you the exact quote. I wrote it down. Got 40 notepads open. Look, you use some fucking word like that. So I think it's reasonable to presume that is what they're planning. But like I said, usually they're quite forward about what we think is going to occur. And while that may still end up happening, their true plans are usually hidden.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously with what you told me when you straight up said what your speculation was, I can promise you that I don't think that's gone anywhere. But just in regards to obviously what I was told, and then I speculated, with the people that were in the room at the time, what that might mean. Like my cabinet were 100% aware of that conversation about the people that were there.
Yeah.
I mean, also what I would say is, so if this is their plan, right, and you and me both know that they involve, people from all across the city, various walks of life, all different gangs, right? Is there a chance this could have kind of been leaked on the other end? If all the gangs are now storing the gold, and they ran back to their,
It's possible. Like I said, I sort of brought this up as a be careful. You know what I mean? Not everyone is whom you may realize. And even those that are fighting the Faceless will fucking suck their dick off just to fuck over cops, right? So
yeah, I mean,
and I'm being rather vague there, just because I'm not trying to,
Oh no, I mean, I've had numerous conversations with people that there was a point in my life, right, where I maybe never that much. I've never really had a hatred for the police. I mean, the stuff that I used to get involved in wasn't, necessarily, in the public eye anyway, right? I like to move in the shadows, should we say? But the amount of people that are still stuck in the ways of, fuck the cops, even if it gets to a point of the whole city being blown up by terrorists, to me, I just don't understand that mentality. But hey, that's where some people, that's where their loyalties are.
Or there's a lot of bank truck Andys, both cops and crims. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it kind of like, I mean, people look at the Faceless, whether you're a cop or a criminal, expect us to push some buttons and some pops out their fucking asshole.
I mean, it's going to affect them in the long run, right? They're not going to be doing any bank trucks if the city's been incinerated by a terrorist.
Yep. Anyways, well, I hope this was helpful. Like I said,
yeah, it was. I mean, thank you for sharing it with me.
Yeah,
this will stay between us. You do have my word.
All right.
And I am a man of my word, Brian. I mean that.
Okay.
Obviously, if there is anything that I can do in the short time that I have left to help you and assist you in any way, let me know. I'm fully down for assisting your efforts.
Two things. One is kind of be appraised. Like, I tell you this because there may be something. The thing I'm trying to get folks to understand in this is a hard sell, because working together is a difficult concept, I think, for many, is that it's like a puzzle piece. The marshals may have a lot, but that doesn't mean that the mayor's offices don't come across some. The besties don't come across some. New Babylon doesn't come across some. And unless we're willing to share the pieces to some degree, we're never going to see the full picture. Right?
I agree.
And so, you know, it could be something as simple as tomorrow your fucking laptop starts blinking. And it may be the difference between you giving myself or like Ruth a call and making sure that bubbles up and we react. Right?
Anything that I have to do with the faces will be coming straight to the marshals, and that's not saying that LSPD will be cut out.
Yeah.
You guys will just be, you know, made aware as a first priority.
Yeah.
And you have my word on that.
Okay. Hell yeah. All right. Anyways. All right, Denzel, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Stay safe. That was a good conversation.